Hello everybody, welcome back to 10 Minute Reviews. I'm Jason. This little fuzzy one chasing her toy is my fuzzy co-star Freya. We're bringing you today's video. As always guys, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. We're just a small family channel, me, the crazy fuzzy one with her toy, and the wife. We just love to talk about books, but small family channel. We're going to keep doing this anyway because we love books, we love talking about them, and we love bringing them to other people. But we would appreciate any support that you guys might want to give us. Okay, Fuzzy, I see you. No, don't snort at me. So today I want to talk about an author that I have not talked about before. And obviously, therefore, I want to talk about a book I have not talked about before. So I want to talk about Sean Oswald and his book Uncontrollable, which is book one of his Class Shift series, Class Shift book one. And it's a pretty cool book. As always, I'm going to talk about four things. I'm going to talk about the world, I'm going to talk about the character, the plot, and the writing style. So the world, now we've got our usual, now in this case we've got our usual isekai type of things, and I'll get more into that when I get into the main character. But the world is a fantasy, your usual Middle Ages adjacent fantasy type world. Sword, sorcery, beast men. It's strongly lit RPG. This is a lit RPG book. You have classes, you have races, you have stats, abilities, skills, powers. You have all of this stuff that's typical with lit RPG. What is atypical with this one is, and now I'm going to get into the character, is Tim. Tim is the main character. Timothy, whatever you want to call him. He's the main character, and he is from our world. But he is brought over. The god that brings him over is the trickster god. The trickster god, and I won't say he necessarily played a trick on him, although you can't really be sure, but his class gets interesting. His class and his abilities and what happens to him gets very, very, very interesting. Now, the first book, as far as plot-wise goes, I'm gonna call this plot more of a slice of life. There is some plot points in it. There are some goals. There are some quests, things along those lines. But for the most part, this particular book, this first book, is very much just a kind of a slice of life. Now, this world is interesting because Tim is not the first one to come over to this world from another world. Sometimes from Earth, other times from other worlds. And he learns this. He learns this in this world. When he first arrives there, he starts learning about what they call sojourners. And sojourners are people that have come from other worlds. People that have come from other worlds are able to be more powerful than people born on this world. In fact, people born on this world, oftentimes they are locked in. They cannot rise above level 1, which means they are very, very, very weak. Sojourners, however, can rise to even higher levels, and all the way up to the max of 20. And while they can make it up to this point, not all of them do, very few of them do in fact, but because it's a lit RPG, and we all know, those of us that have played RPGs, we all know the difference between even a level 10 and a level 1, that sojourners can pretty much one-shot kill, or one-shot destroy level 1 people. So the sojourners are basically gods among men, and they go by generations. Once you first come over, you are a first-gen sojourner, and then after that, your children are second gen, their children are third gen, so on and so forth. The most powerful ones are the first generation, and Tim is a very, very, very powerful one. Now, there is an overall plot that is actually introduced at the very beginning, kind of in the prologue. But the first book just deals with Tim trying to get a handle on this world. Get a handle on this world, get a handle on his abilities, and just figure out his place in the world. Figure out his place in the world and learn how to use his abilities, because this god screwed him over. Absolutely screwed him over with not a class, not an ability, with a trait. The trait is called ephemeral, and basically Tim, at a certain point, he figures this out through the book, exactly what the trigger is, or what the percentile chance is, and it is cumulative. But I'm not going to give it away, even though it's not really necessarily a plot spoiler. I'm not going to give it away. But things happen, and Tim will completely change. When I mean completely change, I mean completely change. He might turn into an 80-year-old man and he might start out a 20-year-old buff barbarian with max strength and incredible skill with a sword, and then next thing you know, he's an 80-year-old man that's a wizard with spells and different skills, then the next thing you know, he is an anthropomorphic animal. I'm not going to give any hints because that does actually happen to him at some point, but he is now an anthropomorphic animal with a whole different class and a whole different set of skills, and this really screws him over. This honestly does really screws him over. This would be really cool, and especially how some of the skills he's able to still use skills cross class, cross race, cross trait, but it does really, really screw him over because nothing like this has ever been seen in this world, or nothing in recent memory. Nothing in recent memory. That's something that they are trying to figure out and try to explore as they continue to get used to Tim. By the same token, they have to worry: do they need to kill this guy? Do they need to banish this guy? Do they need to get rid of him? Do they need to team up and destroy him? So it causes him a lot more problems than it causes him good. There are definitely a lot of secrets that this guy immediately puts into Tim. Now they also start him out at level 19, so one away from level 20, which makes him also extremely powerful. Basically, again, a god among men, except he has no experience. He has no experience, no ability to use his abilities. Those of us that have had a certain skill for any length of time, we're able to use it. It's kind of like playing a video game. It's kind of like playing a video game. You've got all these different abilities, but you've got like 15 different buttons that you need to press in order to do these things. And then you've got someone that's been playing this game for 10 years that only has, say, 3 abilities, but they know how to use them. It's almost instinctive, and that's what Tim does not have, and that's why he's not really trusted all that much either. So the first book, more of a slice of life, getting used to this world, finding a way, finding his place in it, finding his people in it, finding the people that will put up with him. Writing style, it's absolutely fantastic. There's just a few things I wasn't a big fan of. How incredibly quickly Tim just accepts going from our world to some kind of fantasy lit RPG, magic and beast person infused world. It's just so, to me, it's extraordinarily unrealistic. I almost didn't make it through the beginning just because of how much I had to roll my eyes at how just convenient he just kind of went along with everything, which people just wouldn't do that. Nobody would. But once I got past that, absolutely fantastic book, and I'm glad I made it past that because it is an absolutely fantastic book, absolutely fantastic series that you guys have to check out after you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you everybody for watching. We will catch you guys next time.